So this test review is a big one, so make sure you study tonight on the War of 1812. All right, Myra, having confidence that you have your stuff together today, I want you to give me, this is a tough question too, I want you to give me one of the two goals that Great Britain had concerning the War of 1812. What were their goals in the war? What did they want to accomplish?
They wanted to teach the USA a lesson.
Well, I know that's a broad,
Darn it.
that's a broad definition, but they what are two things they wanted to do. I'd be impressed if you got this. I've had the hardest question first here. Think about it. They didn't want to secure any land back, right? So what were their two goals? They wanted to kind of teach us a lesson, but in teaching us that lesson, what did they want to ensure? Kinley?
To have the colonies at their mercy.
Very good. A victory over the Americans, War of 1812, would leave the United States at the mercy of Great Britain. What was the other one, dear?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what you were going to say?
Yeah.
That really didn't even lead. That didn't even lead into the hint. The hint actually was for the other one. So you did say this is correct. One of their goals was that a victory over the Americans in the War of 1812 would leave the United States at the mercy of Great Britain forever. But what was the other goal? That a victory in the War of 1812 would ensure what? That the United States would never again declare war on Great Britain. Very good. So the two goals that Britain had concerning the War of 1812 is a victory would leave the United States at the mercy of Great Britain forever, and a victory would ensure that the United States would never again declare war on their country. Okay? That was the hardest one today, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Okay. Mr. Captain, give me one example of the many I gave you, 4 actually, of how unprepared the United States was militarily for war against Great Britain in 1812. Give me one example. I gave you 4.
We didn't have,
You can look at your notes.
we didn't have people to fight for us.
Okay, well, how about a more specific
You're all
definition of that, Myra? You all got, no, I'm just picking on you. We all got specific, I need specifics. So I gave you 4 examples of how unprepared the United States was for war in 1812. Just give me one.
Was it before or after the 10 things about the flag?
It was the first thing.
It was very early. No, it was very early. I'm kind of going in order of the notes here.
Oh yeah, the United States Navy only had 20 ships.
And,
British had 1,000.
very good. There's one example. Carter, how about another one? United States Navy had 20 ships compared to the Royal Navy who had over 1,000. There's your first example. How about another one?
Maybe.
As many as I ask you here.
U.S. only had 7,000 troops, while Britain had 10,000.
Tens of
Tens of thousands.
thousands. Very good. Julie, give me another one, dear.
Most of the commanders were elderly Revolutionary War veterans.
That's right. Most of the commanders were elderly Revolutionary War veterans. And Elizabeth, what was the last one?
President Madison did not fight in overall.
That's right. You need to know 3 of those 4 for tomorrow. 3 of those 4. Now we'll see if we were listening here. Because I'm really feeling good about ourselves here, Talon. Hang on just a second here. Okay, see if you can tell me this one. What did the British refer to the Battle of Bladensburg as? From the movie. Anybody? What did the British refer to the Battle of Bladensburg? The Battle of Bladensburg was that initial clash outside of Washington, D.C., where the Americans were soon overrun, and then they came into the city and raised havoc on the nation's capital.
Madison's War.
No. We're way here.
Isn't it like the Bladensburg races?
The Bladensburg races, that's exactly right. So the British referred to the Battle of Bladensburg as the Bladensburg races, because, why would they call them that? Because they were just running, they were racing back to the Capitol.
Yeah.
Very good. No, you probably had to be paying attention.
How do you spell it?
Well, it'll be on the test. It's B-L-A-D-E-N-S-B-U-R-G. B-L-A-D-E-N-S-B-U-R-G. B-U-R-G. Ms. Swain, give me 2 descriptions of a Congreve rocket.
It was like a pipe bomb on a stick of bamboo,
Very good.
and it was just like a big bottle.
Okay, well, that'd be kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a modern day pipe bomb on a stick of bamboo. Wyatt, give me some details about the differences between them weight-wise. They weren't all the same, they were made differently, so give me some examples of what, weight-wise, what they range from. Weight range. No, I'm gonna get to that. But you got that? How far will they shoot?
Like 2 miles?
Okay, well, some will. So what was the range of them? I'm asking for the range of weight and the range of firing distance. Either one would be good. Because Cody's gonna answer when you don't. So either the range of weight or the range of firing distance.
Well, it's like 2 miles till
2 miles was the farthest it would go. What was the minimum range?
1,000.
That away, 1,000 yards to 2 miles, which kind of gets us into the weight, Cody. So what was the range in weight?
It was between 3 pounds to 32 pounds.
Right, and obviously the 3-pounders are going to shoot around 1,000 yards, and the 32-pounders are going to fire much farther. Okay, very good. So know some descriptions of the Congreve rocket. Okay, Ms. Parr, give me one public building mentioned in the lecture that was assaulted by the British in the nation's capital during the War of 1812. White House, very good. Budge, give me another one.
The Treasury Building.
Treasury Building. Sydney, another one. Library of Congress. Connor, what was another one? Big one.
The White House.
I said that.
The Capitol.
Capitol, very good. So the Capitol, the Treasury Department, the Library of Congress, and the White House. Dominic, tell me why it was important that First Lady Dolly Madison escaped the White House before the British soldiers arrived.
Because they would have chained her up and pretty great.
Well, you're pretty close. I don't know if they chained her up, but they would have put her in something. They'd have taken her back to London and put her in what? What do you do with the animals to parade them around show?
Oh, in a cage.
Put him in a cage, okay? So the importance was, well, he's a hard dude, man. You gotta chain her up and everything else. So it's okay, no. The key to that, why it was so important that First Lady Dolly Madison escaped the White House before the British soldiers arrived, is they would have taken her, captured her, taken her prisoner, taken her back to London, put her in a cage, and displayed her for people to see. Evidently, there's something else going on up here that I'm not aware of. What did you put? I think you should tell us. How many think we should find out what's so funny? Oh, you're laughing at poor Dominic?
Yeah.
You know, the women, you can't live with them, I don't know what to tell you. Before you think about getting one, think about they laugh at you, right? My wife laughs at me all the time, so.
How's she feel about the beard now?
She doesn't like it ever. Yeah, she doesn't like
I'm
it.
surprised you lasted this long.
I am very surprised. So anyway, you guys okay? All right. I don't want any deaths in here over overexertion of laughing. All right, here we go. Jada's sitting back there thinking I'll never call on her. What was the exact size of the flag flown over Fort McHenry during the Battle of Baltimore? Exact size.
Wasn't it 32 feet by 42?
You're close.
30 by 42.
30 feet by 42 feet. Now, listen, when I ask you that, don't put 42 by 30. It could be inches, centimeters, kilometers, miles, feet. If you don't know, I don't know, young kids, this here, that's the, if you put
30 by 40.
42 by 30, that's wrong. If you go like that, then you're right.
That's 2 inches is 2. That's a foot.
That's feet.
Isn't that what it
Yeah, that's
was?
what it
Yeah,
said.
it's 42 feet.
42 feet.
Oh,
Feet
yeah.
is 1, inches is 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's all right, Dave. It's Monday.
It is
After
Monday.
Thanksgiving, right? Okay, here we go, Austin. Why was Francis Scott Key on board one of the British bombing vessels sent to assault Fort McHenry, gotta get McHenry in. It's Monday. Why was Francis Scott Key on board one of the bombing vessels sent to assault Fort McHenry in their attempt to conquer the city of Baltimore? What's he doing on the ship in the first place?
Because he was a lawyer and he was trying to negotiate the release of his client who
That's-
was arrested for crimes against the British.
There you go, that's a perfect answer. Yeah, it's not Monday for him.
Can you restate that?
Yeah, go ahead, that was like the perfect answer. Everybody listen up, this might be the MVP of the period.
Because he was on board the British ships to negotiate the release of his client who was arrested for crimes against the British.
Nice. The more time, it was so good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still writing it down.
Go.
Because he was on the ships to negotiate the release of his client because he was arrested for crimes against the
Does
British.
anybody remember what those crimes were? I'd be really impressed if you came up with that off the video. Go ahead, Dash.
They thought that he was capturing British troops
During what?
during the
Battle of Bladensburg. Very good, yeah. He was arrested because he was supposedly taking prisoners aboard during the Battle of Bladensburg. I don't know how that could be true since you were getting your butt kicked so bad. But anyway, he must not have because Francis Scott Key got him off, yeah. Go ahead.
So in the video, it said that the flag was made of communal gauze and it was like very heavy. So like, did it actually fly or did it just hang?
Well, it would be, make it more difficult. It wouldn't fly as much as a nylon flag, but it did fly. Yeah, it would be difficult. There's one in Billings. You know, you guys go to Billings.
Yeah.
There's one really big one. There's two of them. One is at I think a tractor dealership right on the interstate. And the other one is this car dealership. If you ever eat at Perkins,
Yeah, it's right.
if you go across the street, there's a car dealership that has a huge flag too, two of the biggest in Montana. Okay, moving on, we'll go to Dash again, even though he came up with a tremendous answer there.
Okay, sure.
Explain the minor difference between the British naval cannons and the French naval cannons that were inside Fort McHenry.
The British naval cannons could shoot farther,
How far?
2 miles, and
Okay.
the French only had like 1.5 miles.
Perfect, yeah. So the minor difference between the British naval cannons and the French naval cannons inside Fort McHenry was that the British naval cannons had a range of 2 miles, the French naval cannons had a range of 1.5 miles. My God, so we're not doing bad for a Monday 4 days after Thanksgiving, perfect. All right, here we go. Nick, don't let us down. What lucky, quote, break did the American forces at Fort McHenry receive on the first day of the Battle of Baltimore? What break did they receive? You got a real lucky break.
British moved closer.
You know, I think I'm just gonna have to bomb you and I'm gonna blow you up if you don't figure this out. I'm just gonna blow you up. I mean, just,
Is this a bomb threat?
you know what I'm gonna do to you, Power? I'm gonna lob a cannonball into your desk. And you're gonna be lucky because the what isn't gonna go off.
Okay.
Was it done?
So a cannonball landed on the gunpowder that they had.
Well, they call that a powder
A powder room.
magazine.
Magazine.
A powder room, now wait. Oh, I think Kenley might have been in the powder room this morning, right? Getting all fixed up for school, powder room.
And the
Go ahead, okay, start over.
Okay.
Man, I got this vision of a bunch of high school girls in a room getting blown up because they're powder in the face. Go ahead, go ahead.
The cannonball landed on the powder magazine,
Which contained
which contains gunpowder.
thousands of pounds of gunpowder that were in barrels. Okay,
And it didn't go off
why?
because of the dud,
Well, why was it done? What didn't go off?
the fuse.
Very good, okay, so we finally got it out of you now. Let's try that one more time now that we got all the information on the table. Nick, start over and tell me the answer to this question. What lucky break did the American forces at Fort McHenry receive on the first day of the Battle of Baltimore?
One of the cannonballs landed on the.
One of the British
One
cannonballs.
of the British cannonballs landed on the powder magazines that contains thousands of barrels of gunpowder, and it didn't go off because the fuse didn't ignite the gunpowder in such a chemical.
Yes. You got that?
Nice.
Okay.
Perfect,
I know,
okay,
the whole thing's gonna be a whole paragraph.
okay.
If he gets that wrong on the test.
He won't now, see, the one thing I guarantee, when I ask you the question, you should get that one right,
It should
right? All right,
be-
Bakari, name the 2 British warships that were hit and destroyed by French naval cannons during the bombardment of Fort McHenry.
Was the one called Devastation?
Devastation,
And
What was that?
charades.
I was gonna.
All right, one of these days, you ever heard of the $10,000 pyramid, that game show?
No.
Really? I'll have to show you. We're gonna, when we get close to semester exam days, we're gonna have us a little $10,000 pyramid competition between the 2 of you. See if you remember. It's pretty good. I'll show you. It was an '80s game show. I'll show it to you. You know how they played it on YouTube. Them play.
Is it basically Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No, God, no.
Are you
That's
smarter than 50?
way back.
Is it
Way
like
back.
goldfish?
Way back. Okay.
Goldfish.
All right, where are we gonna go from here? I think we'll go to Wyman because he's fired up here.
Yeah.
So,
What 2 things did the British double fire consist of during the Battle of Baltimore?
Cannons
Come on!
No?
Double fire. What is it?
Rockets.
What kind? Okay, rockets.
Concrete,
Okay, so what I'm looking for here is what? What am I looking for here, Elizabeth? I've got a catchphrase. What am I looking for?
Oh, bombs
Oh.
bursting in there.
The rocket's red glare and the bombs bursting in air. So here's the question. What 2 things did the British double fire consist of during the Battle of Baltimore? Rockets, red glare, and bombs bursting in air.
If we don't write that, we're gonna lose points on this.
Yeah.
Well, so
The
there's
double
con-
fire was concrete rockets and cannonballs. But what I want is the rockets, you should never forget this.
in the bomb.
Yeah, you know.
Yes.
All right, here we go. My bucket list is I'm going to sing that at a ball game with someone for a fundraiser. When you guys will need some money, here's what we're going to, that's what we're going to do. Frank and I are going to make some big money for these. You know what we're going to do? We're going to sing the national anthem at the opening game of the boys and girls regional basketball tournament, and then we're going to charge people to get out.
Now, you know what we could do? We could just take a picture of Carter, put it on GoFundMe, and say it's part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I wish something for Carter, but I wouldn't do that. All right, here we go. Mr. Captain, what is the difference between the American flag flown over Fort McHenry during the Battle of Baltimore compared to the American flag today? What's the difference in the 2 flags? The one we see today and the one that was over Baltimore? What's the difference?
One was bigger.
Well, let's take size out of the equation. We're looking at appearance. I'll rephrase the question on the test. What's the difference in appearance?
Oh, yeah, there was only, was it 17 or 15 stars?
But actually, there are 15.
15 stars and stripes, and then, now there's 50 and 15.
That's right. So the difference is there were 15 stripes on the American flag and 15 stars. The American flag today has 50 stars and 13 stripes. And I misled you a little bit there because there were 15 stripes on the flag at Fort McHenry because they did stripes for every state as well, and the most stripes that was ever on a flag was 17. Okay, 17. You never know. There are 5 extra credit questions on there. Well, maybe not this time. Okay. Okay, give me Brianna, give me one thing about the Star Spangled Banner that most Americans do not know. Maybe that you didn't know before we went through this. What about the Star Spangled Banner?
Oh,
Yeah, give me a couple things about that that most Americans don't know.
Two stanzas are asking questions.
Right, the stanzas are asking a question. What's another thing maybe a lot of Americans don't know about the Star Spangled Banner? What was it originally? A poem. Okay, it was originally a poem. What else might not people know? Go ahead.
Was that like it didn't become a Star Spangled Banner?
What, 19 what? Anybody remember?
12.
1931, didn't become the national anthem until 1931?
Yeah, Francis Scott Key wrote it.
Well, most Americans know that.
You act like they know.
Now,
None of us knew that.
anybody else have anything else that we might be able, yeah.
Mary's Pickergill was the one. Oh, wait.
That's the flag, man.
It's the actual Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah. How about the song? Anything
Wasn't
else?
it along to that folktale song?
Oh, yeah, when they played at the bar. They
Yeah.
played that one song in the bar and then they put it together.
It was, yeah, I don't know how you
I just
explain
know
it.
that song has Angel in it.
You used like the same tune.
Yeah, it was the same rhythm.
That's very good. That's more detail I'm looking for. How about the national anthem being played at a sporting event? When did that happen?
1918?
1918.
At a baseball game.
I'm not sure that part. How about how many percent of Americans don't know the words?
57.
87.
42.
12.
17.
47. What's the correct answer? Before you make this whole
72.